Welcome to the Pack Tack. Today we'll be going over my picks for each game. So sit back, relax, grab some Scooby Snacks, and let's go right into the show. Okay, to start off, my game of the week is the Texans versus the Chiefs. Luckily, it's also the first game of the season, so are the odds. But so let's get right into who I'm gonna pick to win. So some points for each So first, I'll go over who I think is gonna win. So who I think is gonna win is the Chiefs, because for a lot of reasons they brought back majority of their Super Bowl championship team, which is really weird. Also, they didn't lose any coaches, I'm pretty sure, which is also really not common. And then another thing for them is because the Texans traded away their flipping top tier wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of balls. And that's why I chose the Chiefs. And then going to the second game is the Bears versus the Lions. And for this game, I chose the Lions because they got Matthew Stafford back. Also, the Bears can't decide who their starting quarterback is. So, that's something. But let's go. Next game, I picked the Ravens because the Browns have a new first-time head coach. There was no preseason. Preseason. So I feel like the Ravens are gonna win, also because they have the MVP on their team. So going on to the next game, the Packers versus the Vikings, and well, I picked the Packers not just because they're my favorite team, obviously, but also because of the fact that it's the Packers, dog. First game of the season. Aaron Rodgers says he's looked at tape from 2010, so he's feeling better than ever. Why would I go with the Vikings? That makes no sense. If he's feeling better this season than he did last, why? And we beat the Vikings last season. Why would I go with the Vikings? And then for the next game, it's the Colts versus the Jaguars. This is a no-brainer. All I have to say is to this game is the Jags are obviously tanking this year, so they're obviously not going to win. The next is the Raiders versus the Panthers. I picked the Raiders because of the fact that the Panthers got a new head coach. They have a new quarterback, a whole new system, so I went with the Raiders. And this is one of the Raiders' must-win games since they have the hardest schedule in the league this season. And then next game is the Dolphins versus Patriots. Easily the Patriots. It's Bill Belichick. But they do normally start off slow. I get that, but I just feel like they're gonna beat the Dolphins. Cam Newton's there. There's going to be a lot of hype. And they're just going to win. And then next is the Jets versus the Bills. I choosing the Bills just because the Jets are not that good, to be honest, in my opinion. The Bills just went to the playoffs for the first time in a long time. Yes, they got beat, but they have a lot of upside, which is why I'm going with the Bills. And unfortunately, they beat the Packers in the NFL fan vote today, but it's whatever. Then our next game is the Eagles versus the Falcons. I'm picking the Eagles. Not Falcons, because of F. It's Eagles versus the Redskins. I picked the Eagles because the Redskins, or I guess they're called the Washington football team, are just doo-doo. The coach is battling cancer, and the quarterback situation, I ain't the biggest fan. Their defenses couldn't even stop a nosebleed with a flippin' napkin. The next is the Seahawks versus the Falcons. And I'm picking the Seahawks because of the fact that Russell Wilson's not going to just lose the first game of the season. He's going to probably will his team to the flippin' win. But you know, I'd like them to lose because they're my mom's favorite team and it would just make me happy, but it's whatever. Seahawks are probably going to win that. The next game is the Chargers versus the Bengals. Chargers basically they probably lose to a flippin' girls football team. Not Chargers, but the Bengals would probably lose to like a girls football team or whatever. They're really bad. Yes, they got a new quarterback, but there was no preseason, so he's not gonna be prepared. And the Chargers have, I think, Tyrod Taylor, and he's just a solid QB. Always has been. And then next is the Cardinals versus the 49ers. I chose the 49ers because they just went to the Super Bowl. They dominated my Packers last season. And they lost some people, but I just feel like they're going to win because the Cardinals can't stop a nosebleed to save their life. The next is the Buccaneers versus the Saints. I'm choosing the Saints because there wasn't much of there's no preseason games. And so the Saints basically have been the same team for a long time. Like basically, the complete team came from last year, came back. So that's why I chose them. And the Buccaneers they have a bunch of new guys. And then next is the Cowboys with the Rams. This was a hard one, probably one of the hardest ones I had to choose between. I chose the Cowboys because Mike McCarthy's there, so they just don't have Happy Clap guy anymore as head coach. So that's why I chose the Cowboys. Also because the Rams just haven't been the same since they lost the Super Bowl. And then, plus the Cowboys roster is better, obviously. Stacked roster. But next is the Steelers versus the Giants. I chose the Steelers because Big Ben's back. He says he's the healthiest he's been in a long time. So why not choose the Steelers? And the Steelers have they were 8-8 without a good QB. Barely missed playoffs. So now that they have their starting QB back, who's healthier than ever, why wouldn't they beat a team that's basically probably gonna be a top draft pick this season? And then the final game of the week is the Tennessee Titans versus the Broncos. I chose Tennessee mainly because Broncos have any lost two offensive linemen when I originally made this pick, and because the Titans were really just off of a playoff run. And nobody's going to be able to stop their running back. Especially because it's like the beginning of the season, so he's going to be rejuvenated. And now, because Von Miller's not even there for the Broncos anymore, since he's hurt, so I picked Tennessee. And then, yeah, that is that. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe. Deuces.